Now we need to get to writing the abstract. Now the abstract is on your cover page. And the abstract is basically almost a mix between your introduction and your conclusion. Now you're welcome to go read the WikiHow article on how to write an abstract. They go to in a lot of detail because abstracts are often, they can be really, really long. They can be like a whole page long. Basically, the purpose of an abstract is to give whoever is reading your paper an overview of what they are about to read. Okay, so what you're going to do, we do an informative abstract. You get different types. So we do an informative abstract where we basically give an overview of the research, and we luckily just have to do a single paragraph. I think the easiest way to do it, basically what you can do is you can say what the problem is, what your, I like doing it in this order, saying this is the problem that you decided to investigate basically, then saying what your purpose was, you aim to do this and this and this and this, and then actually going, you don't need to do your methods, actually saying what your results were and your conclusion. So then you say, in the end, I found this and this and this and this. That's pretty much it. Okay, so a sentence, let's just go over that again. A sentence about the problem, what the issue is that you are researching, why, you know, there is a big problem in the world with this and this and this and this. I aim to get this and this and this and this right, whatever my purpose is, whatever your purpose is. Or you can say, now you can actually say my aim was, because this is written after everything else, so that's fine. Then you describe your results. I found that blah 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 blah, whatever your research showed. My research showed that I found that and that and that, whatever people answered, or that people aren't interested, or whatever you found out in phase 1 or phase 2, small sentence, 1 or 2 sentences. And in conclusion, you can say your basically what you concluded. Okay, don't worry too much about it. It's literally 1 mark. So don't put hours of work into it, please. But that's the basic format that you can give. So do you realize why I say it's basically a mix of your introduction and your conclusion? So just a sentence or 2 of what you aim to do, and in the end, what it ended up as. Okay, what the final conclusion was. I found out that what. Okay, hope that helps. Now let's look at a few other things so long that you can start looking at to complete the PAT. Now, by now this should be done. You have added the cover page. You have used appropriate content controls. Your name and surname, name of school, and the topic was added. And now we've added the meaningful abstract. Okay, now I want to have a look at number 2 and number 3 and just show you what each of these mean. So an appropriate readable font size is 10 to 12 points. Now, if you, basically what you can do now is you can go through your whole document and check your introduction, check your focus question, check everything under discussion and analysis. Pretty much all the text that is not a heading has to be the normal style. Okay, and the normal style you'll see is always between 10 and 12 in size. Usually it's 10 or 11. It can't be bigger than that. Then you will get that mark. So you are not allowed to go and change the size here at all. And if you do that, you will get marks in other places as well. So please, all the text that is not a heading must be a plain, normal style. Please go and change that now. You're not allowed to use more than 2 fonts. Now, if you used my recommendation and used only styles everywhere, then that would not be a problem anyway. Appropriate word spacing and basic punctuation. Let's just quickly go over what that is again. Now, if I go to introduction here, anything you write there has to be one, if we switch on our show and hide, one space between words, one space after punctuation symbols like a full stop, a comma, an exclamation mark, that kind of thing. No spaces before that. If you have brackets around something, then the brackets has to be against the words like that, okay, with spaces on the outsides. That's pretty much it. Okay, so check that there aren't any double spaces like that. A nice way to do that is to go to advanced find and check find double spaces, and then go to find next or find all, something like that, and try to pick up on mistakes like that. Next, no spelling or grammar mistakes highlighted. So now that we're done with all the writing, why did it jump that side? Now that we're done with all the writing, you can go to review and do a spell check. Okay, so do a spell check, and if you did your project in Afrikaans, ask your teacher if you can download the Afrikaans spell check of Word. It's actually quite good. You just go, it should actually have suggested it already, and if it hasn't, you just go onto Microsoft site and check Microsoft Afrikaans proofing tools is what you would Google, and you install that. You can check whether your computer has the Afrikaans proofing tools installed by going to the language proofing. So either at the bottom over here, click on language and check if Afrikaans has a tick mark next to it, or go to language on the review tab, set proofing language, and check whether it has a tick mark. By the way, we actually have to set our whole document to English South Africa anyway. And if you were to use the Afrikaans spell checker, then the whole document has to be set to Afrikaans to be able to actually pick up Afrikaans spelling errors. Right, so go through your whole document and do the spell check that all your spelling and grammar is correct. And please proofread it yourself as well, because we've all seen that the spell checker doesn't always pick up everything, right? Okay, headings stand out clearly from the other text. And if you used styles, that would automatically have happened. And the fact then that you used styles gives you an extra mark. So if you use styles, you get both those marks. Okay? Third mark over there is different levels of headings are clearly distinguished. Now, this is what they mean here. The fact that this is a heading 1 and this is a heading 2. Now here, your headings need to be logically ordered. This can't be a discussion and analysis, can't be a heading 2 and then background is a heading 1 again. It has to be logical according to what is main headings and what are subheadings. So please have a look. It's easy to see in your navigation pane as well what are main headings and what are subheadings. And if you just use your styles over here, then you shouldn't have an issue. Please, once you have applied a style, do not change the formatting after that. Don't go and change the color then, or change fonts or sizes or anything. If you want to edit the style, then please go and do it here on the design. Change the colors here, change the font here. You can do that, but don't do it manually over here, because then it won't be applied to all that heading type of all that, you know, all instances of that heading. And then heading styles were used to ensure that headings are formatted in a consistent way. So basically, if you went and changed a heading afterwards manually, then you lose this mark. That's why I'm saying it's so important to do it my way.